Robert Kiyosaki's name is synonymous with powerful lessons about money, financial freedom, and wealth building. His ideas, presented in the bestseller Rich Dad, Poor Dad, have transformed the way millions of people around the world view finances. However, the title of this topic raises an interesting provocation. What doesn't Kiyosaki want you to know about money? The answer, though intriguing, isn't tied to hidden secrets or intentionally withheld information, but rather to the difficulty many people face in accepting the fundamental truths he presents. The truth is that Kiyosaki unveils simple concepts that often contradict everything we've been taught about money throughout our lives. He challenges the status quo, openly criticizing the traditional education system, which prepares people to be good employees but fails to teach them how money actually works. Perhaps what he doesn't want you to know is, in reality, something he tirelessly tries to teach, yet many struggle to embrace. Financial freedom requires courage, sacrifice, and above all, the willingness to unlearn outdated paradigms. One of Kiyosaki's most controversial concepts is his definition of assets and liabilities. While many people believe that everything they own, such as houses, cars, and other possessions, are assets, Kiyosaki challenges this notion by stating that an asset is only something that puts money in your pocket. A privately owned home, often seen as a family's greatest asset, can actually be a liability, as it generates ongoing expenses like maintenance, taxes, and mortgage interest. This unconventional perspective is one of the hardest truths to accept, yet also one of the most transformative. Additionally, Kiyosaki emphasizes that the traditional financial system is designed to keep most people trapped in the rat race. This means working tirelessly to earn a paycheck, paying bills, acquiring consumer goods, and repeating this cycle until retirement. He argues that while you work for money, others are using money to work for them. This is one of the lessons he tries to convey repeatedly, though not everyone is ready to hear or apply it. Another point Kiyosaki frequently highlights, but many ignore, is the necessity of taking full responsibility for one's finances. It's common to blame the government, employers, or economic circumstances for financial difficulties. However, Kiyosaki believes that true financial freedom is only achievable when you take total control of your financial life, making informed and conscious decisions. This level of responsibility is uncomfortable for many because it requires effort, study, and often the willingness to confront personal mistakes. Kiyosaki also stresses an often overlooked aspect: the importance of shifting your mindset about risk. For him, the greatest risk isn't investing and losing money, but not investing and remaining financially stagnant. This perspective challenges those who have been taught to avoid anything that seems risky. The problem is that absolute safety doesn't exist. Keeping money in a savings account, for instance, may feel secure, but during times of inflation, the real value of that money diminishes over time. On the other hand, investing in assets such as real estate, stocks, or even starting a business involves calculated risks, but also offers the potential for growth and freedom. Kiyosaki also critiques the traditional retirement model based on savings or pension funds. He argues that relying solely on these systems is a mistake because they are vulnerable to market fluctuations, changes in government policies, and most importantly, inflation. For him, the key is to create multiple streams of passive income before retirement, so that you don't depend on just one or two sources of support when you stop working. This approach is more complex and requires careful planning, but it provides much greater long-term security. Another point Kiyosaki addresses, and one that many find hard to accept, is the need to embrace financial education as a lifelong commitment. Many people believe that reading one or two books about finance is enough to manage their money for the rest of their lives. Kiyosaki, however, emphasizes that learning should never stop because the financial market is constantly changing. He argues that wealthy people dedicate time and resources to continuous education, while most people neglect this vital area of their lives. Furthermore, Kiyosaki asserts that the traditional educational system fails to prepare people for the real world. Schools teach the importance of getting good grades and landing a good job, but they don't teach how to manage money, invest, or build assets. He often points out that learning to handle money isn't just a technical skill but also a shift in mindset. To thrive, one must abandon the belief that financial stability depends on others, such as employers or governments, and start building wealth independently. Something Kiyosaki doesn't want you to know, in the sense that many struggle to accept, is that the path to financial freedom can be lonely and full of challenges. When you start questioning the status quo and take a different approach to money, you may face criticism, doubt, and even resistance from those around you. Friends, family, and colleagues might not understand why you're investing in real estate, starting a side business, or prioritizing financial education over spending on consumer goods. However, Kiyosaki believes that this resistance is part of the journey and that perseverance is essential for success. He also emphasizes that wealthy people think long-term, while most people focus on the short-term. For example, many people immediately spend their money after receiving a raise, whereas the wealthy prefer to invest that increase in assets that will continue to generate income in the future. This mindset shift is crucial but difficult to adopt, as it requires discipline and patience, qualities not everyone is willing to cultivate. Finally, Kiyosaki highlights that money is a tool, not an end goal. Many people believe that accumulating wealth is what brings happiness, but he argues that true wealth lies in the freedom to live life on your own terms. Money should be used to create security, opportunities, and quality of life, not as a status symbol or an empty goal. The key lesson Kiyosaki strives to convey, but that many still resist understanding, is that financial freedom is within anyone's reach. However, it requires effort, a shift in mindset, and the willingness to challenge everything you've ever learned about money. He doesn't hide these truths, he reveals them. The challenge lies in the fact that not everyone is ready to hear them, and more importantly, apply them. Kiyosaki often warns that the greatest obstacle to achieving financial freedom isn't the resources you have or the market you operate in, but the limiting beliefs you hold. These beliefs, often learned in childhood or reinforced by society, perpetuate a cycle of financial mediocrity. Among them is the idea that money is complex, hard to understand, and reserved for experts. He challenges this narrative by asserting that money is simple, but requires commitment to understand. One of the hardest truths to accept is that financial education isn't a quick fix. It doesn't offer shortcuts, but rather a structured path that demands discipline, patience, and consistent action. Many give up because they expect immediate results, while wealth building is a process that unfolds over years, or even decades. Kiyosaki emphasizes that this get-rich-quick mentality is one of the main reasons so many people fall for scams or risky investments, losing money and becoming even more disillusioned. Another point Kiyosaki doesn't want you to know, in the sense that it's an uncomfortable truth, is that the financial system is designed to benefit the rich. He argues that financial knowledge is intentionally omitted from formal education to keep most people dependent on wages, debt, and pensions. Banks, for instance, thrive on the interest you pay on loans and mortgages, while companies profit from consumers who spend more than they earn. For Kiyosaki, understanding how the system works is the first step to escaping this trap and beginning to build wealth independently. The importance of learning about assets and liabilities goes beyond simply knowing what to buy or avoid. It's about completely changing how you view money and material possessions. Many people focus on acquiring things that signify status, such as luxury cars or bigger homes, but that in reality drain resources without generating any return. Kiyosaki emphasizes that true wealth comes from what works for you, even when you're not working. This shift in focus from consuming to investing is what separates the wealthy from the middle class. Another key point Kiyosaki addresses is the role of financial leverage. He believes that using other people's resources, such as good debt or partnerships, is essential for accelerating financial growth. However, this requires knowledge and control. Many people avoid any form of debt out of fear, while others take on irresponsible debt that ultimately sabotages their financial goals. Learning how to use leverage intelligently is a skill few master, but it can completely transform your financial trajectory. The issue of a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset is another concept Kiyosaki frequently addresses. Many people believe that resources are limited and that they must compete for their slice of the pie. This perspective fosters fear, anxiety, and financial decisions driven by survival rather than growth. The wealthy, on the other hand, operate with an abundance mindset, believing that wealth can be created and multiplied. This outlook empowers them to take calculated risks, collaborate with others, and invest in big ideas that generate value for the market. Additionally, Kiyosaki insists that building wealth isn't just about money, it's about freedom. True wealth lies in the ability to make decisions based on your values and aspirations, rather than out of financial necessity. He emphasizes that financial freedom isn't a luxury, but a fundamental requirement for living a full and meaningful life. However, achieving this freedom requires initial sacrifices, such as controlling spending, prioritizing investments, and delaying gratification. Another often overlooked element is the impact of inflation. Kiyosaki warns that letting money sit idle in bank accounts is a risky strategy, especially during times of rising inflation. As money loses value, the prices of assets such as real estate, stocks, and even cryptocurrencies tend to increase. He argues that investing is the only way to protect your purchasing power and build wealth that stands the test of time. Financial education should also be viewed as a legacy. Kiyosaki emphasizes that teaching future generations to understand and manage money is a crucial responsibility. Many families perpetuate cycles of poverty or financial mediocrity simply because they never learned how to handle money productively. Teaching children and young people about assets, liabilities, investments, and cash flow is the key to breaking these cycles and creating a lasting positive impact. Ultimately, Kiyosaki's most powerful message is that financial freedom is within everyone's reach, but few are willing to put in the necessary work to achieve it. This involves not only learning about money, but also consistently applying that knowledge. He challenges each person to take control of their financial life, rather than relying on external systems that often fail. The great truth that Kiyosaki doesn't want you to know, yet tirelessly repeats, is that the power to change your financial reality lies in your hands. No matter where you are today, whether in debt, with no savings, or lacking financial knowledge, it is always possible to start. The decision to act is yours, and the time to start is now. The journey to achieving financial freedom, as Kiyosaki often emphasizes, begins with a shift in mindset and extends to adopting practical and consistent actions. Many people underestimate the impact of small daily changes, but it's precisely these habits that differentiate those who successfully build wealth over time. He reinforces that financial education isn't something you learn once and forget. It's a continuous process that requires adaptation to changes in markets, technologies, and the global economy. Another crucial aspect he highlights is the importance of confronting fear and insecurity about money. Most people avoid investing or learning about finances out of fear of losing money or making mistakes. However, Kiyosaki believes the greatest mistake is not trying. He argues that mistakes are learning opportunities and that, instead of avoiding them, we should use them as stepping stones to gain a deeper understanding of how money and markets work. A frequently overlooked point is the distinction between financial freedom and wealth. Many people confuse the two concepts, but Kiyosaki makes it clear that being rich isn't the same as being financially free. Being rich might mean having a lot of money, but if that money depends on constant work or a single source of income, the person is still vulnerable. True financial freedom, on the other hand, is achieved when you have enough passive income to cover your living expenses, allowing you to choose how to spend your time and energy. To reach this point, Kiyosaki teaches that building a diversified portfolio of assets that work for you is essential. This includes not only investing in stocks or real estate, but also exploring new opportunities such as starting your own business, cryptocurrencies, or even royalties from books, music, or patents. Diversification reduces risks and increases the chances of generating multiple streams of income. creating a financial system that remains resilient during times of crisis. Kiyosaki also encourages people to seek mentors and communities that share their financial goals. Learning from those who have already achieved what you aspire to is a way to avoid unnecessary mistakes and accelerate your progress. He believes that by surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, you create an environment that supports your financial growth even when you face challenges or setbacks. One of the greatest obstacles he mentions is the consumerist mindset that dominates many modern cultures. The lure of instant gratification, from the latest gadgets to new cars and bigger homes, often leads people to accumulate liabilities instead of assets. Kiyosaki challenges this mindset by advocating that every dollar you earn is a tool that can be used to generate more money. He suggests asking yourself before making any purchase, will this put money in my pocket or take it out? Additionally, he frequently highlights the impact of procrastination. Many people know they should invest, learn more about finances, or start a business, yet they keep delaying these decisions due to fear, lack of time, or excessive comfort with their current situation. The problem is that time is the most valuable resource, and each day lost is an opportunity that can never be regained. Kiyosaki insists that the time to start is now, even if it's with small, seemingly insignificant steps. Another powerful lesson Kiyosaki conveys is that wealth is built during times of crisis. While most people see economic downturns as moments of panic and withdrawal, the wealthy see opportunities. They understand that valuable assets often become undervalued during recessions, and that having the capital and courage to act during these times can result in extraordinary long-term gains. This thriving in chaos mindset is something few master, but is essential for anyone aiming to achieve financial freedom. Finally, Kiyosaki emphasizes that financial knowledge isn't just for personal benefit. It should be shared. Teaching your children, friends, or even your community about how money works creates an impact that extends beyond yourself. He believes that by sharing this knowledge, you not only strengthen your circle, but also contribute to a more financially aware society, one less vulnerable to the traps of the financial system. The most important takeaway is that financial freedom isn't a privilege reserved for a select few. It's a choice. But it's a choice that requires effort, sacrifice, and the willingness to face the truth about how money works. Kiyosaki doesn't hide these lessons. He shares them openly. It's up to each of us to decide if we're ready to hear them, apply them, and transform our lives. The financial future you want depends on the decisions you make today. As Kiyosaki often explains, financial freedom isn't something achieved overnight. It's a continuous journey. This journey involves not just accumulating wealth, but also profoundly changing the way you think about money, work, and investments. Frequently, it requires questioning everything you've been taught about financial security and stability. Kiyosaki teaches that the path to financial freedom begins with understanding that you are solely responsible for your financial destiny. It's not the government, your employer, or even the market that will determine your success. It's your willingness to learn, make strategic decisions, and most importantly, take action. This sense of responsibility is empowering, but it's also intimidating because it removes the option to blame others for financial failures or challenges. A crucial part of this journey is learning to think independently. Many people follow traditional financial advice without questioning whether it actually works. For example, the mantra of study, get a good job, and save for retirement might seem sensible, but Kiyosaki argues that it's fundamentally flawed. That's because the job market, retirement systems, and global economy have changed drastically over the past few decades. The formula that worked for previous generations may no longer be enough to ensure financial security in today's rapidly evolving world. Another important aspect is learning to distinguish between what appears to be wealth and what truly is wealth. Many people measure financial success by the size of their home, the car they drive, or the salary they earn. However, Kiyosaki explains that these indicators are often illusions, as they are frequently tied to high levels of debt and expenses. True wealth, he emphasizes, lies in owning assets that generate enough cash flow to cover your living expenses, allowing you to live independently of a job or unstable income sources. Kiyosaki also challenges the fear of failure, which prevents many people from taking their first steps toward financial freedom. He believes failure is not something to fear, but an inevitable part of the learning process. Every mistake provides a valuable lesson, as long as you're willing to analyze it and adjust your approach. He often shares that his own journey was marked by trials, errors, and financial losses, but each experience made him stronger and wiser. Another point Kiyosaki emphasizes is the power of leverage. Many people think they need large amounts of money to invest, but he teaches that there are ways to use other people's resources, such as financing, partnerships, or even other people's time, to build wealth. This approach requires knowledge, planning, and courage, but it enables you to achieve results that would be impossible relying solely on your own resources. However, he also warns against the risk of standing still, waiting for the right moment to start. Procrastination is one of the greatest enemies of financial progress. Many people wait until they have more money, more knowledge, or more time to invest in financial education or start a business. The problem is that the perfect moment never comes. What separates those who succeed from those who stay in the same situation is the willingness to start, even with limited resources or an imperfect idea. The journey to financial freedom also requires patience and persistence. Results often take time to materialize, especially in the beginning. It can take years to build a portfolio of assets that generates enough income to replace a traditional salary. However, Kiyosaki emphasizes that time is an investor's greatest ally. Compound interest, the appreciation of assets, and the cumulative impact of smart decisions create a solid foundation for financial independence, provided you are willing to wait and keep moving forward. Finally, Kiyosaki underscores the importance of sharing the knowledge you've gained. He believes financial education is a powerful tool for transforming lives, and those who achieve success have a responsibility to help others do the same. This doesn't just mean teaching financial concepts, but also inspiring others to adopt a growth mindset, overcome fear, and take action toward their own financial goals. The core message is clear. Financial freedom is not a privilege reserved for a select few. It's a right for anyone willing to fight for it. But as Kiyosaki often says, the first step is taking control. It all begins with the decision to let go of old habits, learn new skills, and take actions that create a better future. The real question isn't whether you can achieve financial freedom, but whether you're willing to do the work necessary to get there. The choice is yours, and the time to start is now.